talk about the Masters at all?
Welcome to the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies.
Including your mom.
It's time to get sleazy.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 155 of the Sleazy Podcast. I'm your host, Sleazy, and tonight I'm joined by Mr. PBS.
Howdy.
And from the Chicagoland area, I have Hot Sauce.
I'm back where I belong.
Yep, he's no longer here in Columbus, ladies and gentlemen. And filling in for the one and only Robzilla tonight, we have J-Bone.
Yo.
Is that what you'd like to be called?
It doesn't matter.
You don't care.
Yeah.
Papa Flynn.
Is it a fill-in or is it an upgrade?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's an upgrade in some ways, and Rob will be missed in some other ways.
I don't feel right yelling at John the way I do with Robzilla. It's just not. It's not the same.
You can't call him a piece of shit because John's like the friend that always comes through and bails you out and helps you, but Rob not so much. So
Rob is busy being indicted in the state of New York right now.
That's
so he
right.
can't be with us.
That's right. It's been a weird 2 weeks since we've been off. Well, this is kind of like the start of a new season for the Sleazy Podcast. It's the first episode after the Sleazys.
The hangover after the Sleazys.
It's kind of like, the beginning of a new season where we're done with everything from last year and we're moving on to this year. So, anyways, yeah, busy 2 weeks. Eventful 2 weeks. We had another school shooting. Yeah. And young people in Tennessee in particular are going nuts. And then you have the former President Donald Trump being indicted, which, depending on who you are, you might be a fan of that. I don't know. So, but lots of stuff going on. And today we had lots of fucking news. And then there was other news this week, which we'll just go ahead and start the show out with WWE. But this week was WrestleMania 39 this past weekend. Saturday and Sunday was WrestleMania 39 live from Los Angeles. So it was kind of like the Hollywood themed WrestleMania. I just kind of was
end of an era, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it was just okay. I thought. I mean, I know a lot of wrestling fans really loved Saturday, and
I heard night one was the night.
Yeah, night one is
Saturday was by far better than Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night was a fucking snoozer, man. And that's when all the big matches were billed. So, the marquee matches that they kind of advertised Mania around. But that main event, I don't know how they do it, but they just love fucking up the main event in WrestleMania. Like, they don't give the people what they want when it comes to that main event. And, but
finish the story.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think we're going to let Roman Reigns keep the title for another year. How's that sound, everybody?
Well, I think the rumor is right. They want to get him into the 1,000-day territory or whatever.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they're pushing for. Because they've made this character where he's like the ultimate, Samoan wrestler, and
tribal chief.
He owns everything, and people, he comes out and part of his shtick now is acknowledge me, and the crowd all cheers. And people love him as a heel, so it's very entertaining. I won't disagree with that.
It's a good storyline.
Yeah.
Didn't The Rock come back?
No.
Oh, I thought
that was like the rumor because it was in Hollywood, and it was like all roads lead to The Rock coming back, but no, he didn't. There was no. He's too busy with the XFL.
Supposedly, I think he said he didn't have time to prep to get into shape for it.
Yeah, there's no way he could. I mean, he's just so fucking busy. When is The Rock going to train to get back into wrestling shape? Like, he's in great physical shape, but I'll
say he's a better wrestler than an actor.
Probably. He's not bad, though. I mean,
The Rock seems to be all about The Rock anymore, really.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the guy was he own a tequila company now? And then he has XFL.
I miss Ballers.
Ballers was great.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's getting ready. Aren't they doing a live, what was the animated movie?
Oh, Moana.
Moana.
Yeah.
So,
That was my input for the evening. Thank you.
And he's probably still hungover from nobody receiving Black Adam pretty well. So he's probably still a little. How do you want to say that? Just a little has the blues over that, depressed.
He's a little salty over that one.
Yeah, yeah. He thought he was gonna like take over DC silently, and it just, smacked him right in the fucking face. Like, you mean people don't like everything The Rock is in? No.
He still has the Fast and the Furious.
No, he's not. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't get along with.
That's
Vin
right. He's
Diesel.
not in that anymore. You're right.
Yeah, Vin Diesel practically begged him to come back for that 10th one, and he was like, "Fuck off."
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind.
So you liked night one, Hot Sauce?
Night one was a lot better than night two.
So what was your favorite match? I guess we'll say of the weekend.
The favorite match of the entire weekend. I'm just going to tell the Chop Fest with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, and
that was a really good old school match.
Yeah, who else was in that? It was Drew McIntyre, Sheamus.
It was a 3-way.
Was it? It wasn't Austin Theory. That was the John Cena one.
It was who was it? It was another big. Oh, Gunther.
Gunther.
Yeah,
Gunther. Yeah, that was a good match. I like that. Gunther hit a little bit at the end there, kind of like laid low and jumped in to steal the win, but that was probably one of the better matches of the whole entire weekend.
Didn't you feel like you were watching a match right out of the 80s from that match? I mean, it just felt very old school, and I mean, you felt like Ric Flair was in there chopping it up almost. But
very physical. Not so much a finesse, more of a physical match.
And a lot of times the new age of wrestling kind of seems like it's a dance rather than, a physical altercation being taken place,
over more choreographed than just getting out there and beating each other up to make it look good.
A lot of flips and stuff like that, and counters and stuff. But this was like old school fucking 80s NWA, early WWE style. But I really enjoyed that match too. But I gotta say, my favorite match of the weekend was Charlotte versus
Charlotte and
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is a great wrestler. And John's like, who the fuck are these people?
I have no idea.
Charlotte is Ric Flair's daughter.
Oh, okay.
She's like one of the better women's wrestlers. So
14-time women's champ.
Yeah, she's going to break her dad's record with these championships.
That was the only match I saw from the weekend. And that was just a damn good match. Men, women, otherwise, whatever. That was a damn fine wrestling match.
Yeah, it was good. And I thought it should have been the main event. I really think they have a problem with where they're putting the matches at on, I thought a lot of the matches on Saturday should have been matches on Sunday, and a lot of the matches on Sunday should have been on Saturday, kind of like opening up the show. But
is that because did you feel like Saturday was a better overall day?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So after the fact, you're thinking maybe some of those Saturday matches should have been Sunday matches, not necessarily going into it, but after you watch them, like, hey, this, because you see the card and who's going to be on what days and what matches, you're like, okay, whatever. But then when you actually saw Saturday and how it played out,
well, and like I thought the Finn Balor Edge match, the Hell in a Cell, you've got Brood Edge coming out. Which was kind of like his thing. John, you remember the Brood, don't you?
Yeah.
Did he come out? Did Kristen show up?
No, neither did Gangrel. That was like a big rumor that they were going to get him back together. But he's in AEW, so. But they and then Finn Balor was the Demon. He hasn't been the Demon in forever, and it's like you can see the sun shining into the stadium, and you have these dark characters coming out to the ring. And part of like the Demon, his entrance is they turn all the lights out and there's smoke coming everywhere and he's crawling through it. And, he's got the crowd by the palm of his hands and he's directing everybody. And the same goes for Edge when he has a big, big entrance. And it just, because it was in the daylight, it just didn't feel right. And then Finn Balor ended up busting his head open and they tried to which
was totally fucking unscripted.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the gash in his head?
Yeah.
It's like a 4-inch gash or something like that.
Yeah.
But
did you notice when it happened how they cut the camera?
Yeah.
They took, like, you saw blood dripping, and then they immediately, like, the camera just, like, panned up and cut off the whole bottom half of the ring while they were working on him. Yeah. And then Edge just, like, walking around, like, fucking with ladders and tables, and they're just following him around. They will not show the ring.
This is not our WWE attitude from our era.
No. And I didn't think they did blood anymore. I thought that was like we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, well, and I mean, sometimes they have it, and the referee puts the gloves on, which he ended up having to do.
Yeah.
But like when they brought the doctor into the ring, I'm like, how'd she get in there? No one's supposed to be able to get in and out of the Hell in a Cell. But you knew it was a serious cut at that point. And, Balor didn't even want the doctor coming in. And, they wanted to keep going with it. And, they probably should have, but, they got the no blood rule. And obviously it was a huge cut. So I guess when you think about it, he probably did need to have it stopped a little bit. But, I mean, and I don't think we got a full match out of that. Because, I think they ended it a little earlier than what they would have liked to. And
just prior to that, we had Shane blowing out his quad or knee or calf or whatever. So it's like two matches in like a 20-minute, two incidents in a 20-minute period. You got two guys that got fucked up legitimately. Like, are they just going to cancel night 2? Is this done?
Yeah. Shane McMahon leapfrogged over the Miz, and when he came down, his knee just fucking blew. And he tried to get up, and it was like just instantly fell right back down on the mat. So they the cameraman, you can see the cameraman, he yells at Snoop Dogg, and he's like, get in the ring and punch the Miz, because somebody's feeding him through the ear. And Snoop Dogg comes in and punches the Miz, and he gives the worst people's elbow that you've ever seen in your entire life.
Gave it on the wrong side.
It's easily top 3. He sold the shit out of that. Easily top 3.
But I really did think, the main event should have been Charlotte and Rhea Ripley that night. And
some people said the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Uso storyline was the better storyline.
It was the better storyline.
So that's why it was the main event.
And it was a good match.
I've heard it was a good match.
But it wasn't as competitive as the women's match before it.
They went at it.
It was like they really fucking they set the mark high, and then this main event is right after it, and it just fell short of that previous match. So it was like I bet those guys when they walked out there, they're like, how the fuck are we supposed to follow this, But I mean, it's just weird, and it's been a trend like this for the past couple of years. Well, I won't even say couple of years.
How long have they been doing 2 nights? Do you know? I can't.
A couple of years now.
2020 because of COVID. That was the first night they did it because there was no audience or anything. So they did a 2-night event, and it also wasn't live.
Yeah, I figured
it was taped and played over 2 nights, and then they're like, "Well, fuck, we can make more money once we get the crowds back." So then they just started doing 2 nights. It's been, I think, this is the 3rd one.
I thought it only been a couple of years or whatever.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's better than 7 hours straight, because that was before 2020. There was a 7-hour WrestleMania, and it was just like you were just fucking tired and ready for the shit to be over with by the time you got like halfway through it. And but I mean, it's still entertaining. It's fun to watch with your friends. You feel like a kid again. And
how Chris Jericho do?
He's not in the WWE.
Oh, damn.
He's in AEW.
He was my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler. He's doing this thing in AEW. Yeah. But I mean, it's probably the best thing that he ever did was leave WWE, because he's like one of the guys in AEW, and he's propelled himself a little bit more than they hold people back in WWE. I mean, it's sad, and you can tell even in this grand of stage, WrestleMania is what the top 3 sports event in the world.
It's still up there.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Super Bowl and something else in WWE WrestleMania. But and you can just tell, like, some of these stories fall flat in the biggest stage of all, and the matches that are good don't necessarily have the spotlight, and it's just the flow of the show just seems off. But I mean, they put together a phenomenal show. Like, that stage was amazing.
That looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, the WrestleMania stages they build are phenomenal, and the show they put together is phenomenal. but the flow of the matches and where the matches are placed, it just seems a little off. And like I said, I can't even remember much about night 2 because it just didn't wow that much to me. But I mean, I don't know if you feel the same, Hot Sauce, but I mean, you obviously said
night 2 just had the Shane injury, the Finn Balor, because those were both night 2, right? Shane and Finn were both night 2.
I believe so.
I think those were the two biggest. Those are the two things that stood out to me the most out of everything was the 2 injuries because they were real injuries, and then the final match. I mean, that's it. Like night 2 was just kind of
it was.
You got to think that final match kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths when they were ready for it to be something else.
Yeah. Well, and the finale, the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes was a big sign for them. They got him away from AEW because AEW didn't want to pay him what he wanted, and Cody Rhodes comes in hot to WWE, and then he gets injured, and then he comes back even hotter. And they set this storyline up where he wins the Royal Rumble and
to get his championship match
against Roman Reigns, who's held the belt for a year now. And it just, I don't know. There was something about it. They had the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Uso storyline that just overshadowed that and killed their whatever you want to call it, heat that they had at the time. But in the main event, just didn't feel like it was anything. And then, everybody obviously wanted Cody Rhodes to win. He's a fan favorite, and the crowd was into him. But they went with Roman, so because they've got a bigger story to tell. Roman, I guess. But it is what it is. It just, I don't know. This didn't feel like a WrestleMania where it was like fan driven.
Well, they always say, sometimes the person you don't want to win wins, but sometimes they should win.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just felt like this was Cody Rhodes' moment, whereas it seems like they're going to let Roman go for a little while longer.
And he'll never get a WrestleMania moment like this again.
Right.
Like, even if he wins next year, it won't be what it was what it could have been this year.
Like I said, the momentum is where it's at. Like, is it going to last if they wait until WrestleMania a whole year away? I don't think so.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, Survivor Series, maybe, but
it's all about the chase, but the chase has already, happened, and they're totally missing their mark with it. But hey, I may be a fool, and they may do something incredible with this.
Now he's got to go through Brock Lesnar, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the Raw after Mania was awful, which brings us to what our real segment is. The big thing was when WrestleMania was going on, there was all these rumors going around that WWE is getting ready to merge.
Because Vince was back for WrestleMania, officially.
Yeah. Well, he was there for the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. And he looks like Gomez now.
And it's...
I mean, I tweeted that I thought he looked like he had a
haunted house.
He owned a haunted mansion. But yeah,
his new hairdo and mustache is certainly a choice. So.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get around to it. Let's do. I wonder why my Chrome tab doesn't show up here. Oh well. Uh-oh. That's the wrong. Hold on. Let me present the right screen instead of the one we're on right now.
Technical difficulties. No producer to keep him in line, folks.
I know, dude. Rob leaves and we're fucked. All right. Stop seeing this ad. There we go. Okay, so WWE is combining with UFC to form a new company, which it's not really UFC. It's the parent company that owns UFC. Endeavor. This is CNN, by the way. New York CNN. World Wrestling Entertainment is merging with Endeavor Group, the parent company of competitor UFC, to form a new publicly traded company. The deal values the newly combined company at over $21 billion. UFC is worth $12.1 billion, and WWE is valued at $9.3 billion. Endeavor shareholders will own 51% of the newly combined company, while WWE shareholders are getting 49%. This is a rare opportunity to create a global live sports and entertainment pure play built for where the industry is headed, said Ariel Emanuel, CEO of Endeavor, in a statement. Manuel, a Hollywood powerhouse agent, will be the CEO of the new company and retain his chief executive title at the agency. Vince McMahon will retain his current WWE title of executive chairman at the new company, which doesn't yet have a name. He said in a statement that the new company will be well positioned to maximize the value of our combined media rights. He also said the new company could expand by pursuing other mergers and acquisitions to further bolster our strong stable of brands. WWE shares fell nearly 10% in early trading, and Endeavor slumped about 2%. The companies expect to save $50 million to $100 million in costs once the deal is complete, which is expected to close in the second half of this year. It will trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TKO. How clever. And part of this deal is that Vince
stays creative or whatever.
He's allowed to wiggle his way back into creative for WWE.
Which supposedly he didn't necessarily want, but maybe he really did want.
Yeah. I think we all know he wanted it.
Yeah, if you listen to, depends on who you listen to, like some people thought maybe with everything going on that Vince was maybe ready to be done, but at the same time, like this is Vince. It's in his blood. Like he's not one of those guys who's going to retire and go fishing or something.
No, he's not giving it up. Right. He's going to die, doing WWE stuff.
Maybe in the ring.
Yeah, fucking everything up. I don't know if he'll die in the ring, but we got to find a picture of him now too. I wanted to show everybody that.
Looking like a goddamn Scooby-Doo villain and shit.
Oh, man. He reminded me of the guy from House on a Haunted Hill.
I can't remember his name. But yeah, it does, because Endeavor was always sort of in the mix when they were talking about who might get the sale. But I didn't think they were at the top.
They've got a whole, I
think everybody kind of suspected the Saudis would buy it. It'd be a Saudi group that would buy it.
They certainly had the money to do it.
A lot of people suspected that, and, a lot of people were pissed about it because, WWE is an American company, but they're, a global company nowadays. I mean, they go all over the world. Okay.
Well, they got their ties with the Crown Jewel pay-per-view that's over there.
Yeah. They most certainly do. All right, where's the picture at?
Vinnie Mac and Salvador Dali.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, what? Like, not only did he grow the mustache, but he dyed his hair.
He definitely dyed the hair.
Pitch black. I mean, come on, dude, give it up.
It does look younger with the hair, for sure.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, but why did he do it, though? Like, what was the fucking point?
I think
he knew he was going to be back on TV.
I think he even fucking dyed his eyebrows. Look at that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What do you think will make me look younger?
Hasn't he been...
Salsa picante, hot sauce.
Hasn't he been seen with a younger woman lately or something, too?
I thought that was
sort of like in the rumors or whatever.
That's hilarious, though. I mean, that stash. I mean, what is up with that?
Like the whole it's a gimmick. Like it looks like it's a fucking gimmick. Like he's doing it for something.
Yeah.
Like he's once again the character Vince McMahon, not the person.
Yeah, maybe he's going to come
Mr.
back
McMahon
into
again.
Yeah, maybe he's coming back into the fold as the evil guy that's taking over the company again.
Bring back the corporation.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me or I'll molest you.
Yeah. I'm not paying anybody off anymore.
Is he Ari Emanuel?
Yeah.
He's pulling a Two-Face. He's got the mustache and the dark on one side. When he talks to Vince, he turns his head.
So, is he not with his wife anymore, Linda?
I've heard it's one of those sort of things where like they're together, but they're just not.
I've always heard, kind of figured it was like a Bill and Hillary Clinton type marriage where it was business related.
At this point, like he's married to WWE. Linda ran for Congress and she's happy doing Linda things, I think. And Vince is married to the WWE. Yeah, that's his wife, his baby, whatever.
So, are you ready to move on?
We heard that can crack.
I'm curious.
Yeah, that was me. I'm drinking.
We heard that can crack. Getting some sips in.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Curious. When we talked about it in the messenger a bit, like end of an era, like the McMahons don't really control WWE after this goes through.
Well, they do. He does.
But
it's
Endeavor's got 51%.
51%, yeah.
It's weird that he doesn't, because it was such a family business for so long, and it's just like he doesn't want to leave it to Stephanie. He doesn't want to leave it to Shane. Like, what's the deal? I mean,
I don't think they love it as much as he does.
Well, I mean, they're all in it. I mean,
well, I think Shane's kind of been in and out. Stephanie probably would have been the right choice. Leave it to Stephanie and Triple H.
Well, she was the co-CEO when he was all that
out.
and as soon as he did that move where he got rid of the board or whatever, he fucking got rid of her too. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems so weird. You would think they would want to keep it in house at some level, you know.
Well, so you call it a family business, but it's been Vince's for so long.
Yeah.
Even because he bought
it's
it out.
Family and name only.
Yeah, it's really Vince's. His dad might have started it in the 70s or 80s or whatever, but when Vince bought it became Vince's, and it's been Vince's for 40 years almost.
What did he buy it for? Like $1 million?
I saw. I saw.
It's worth $9 billion now.
Yeah, graphics said $1 million. I mean, 1980, whatever.
Say what you want about the guy. I mean, he really has fallen off, and he's behind the ages now. But what he's done is incredible. I mean, he took $1 million investment and turned it into $9 billion. I mean, what can you say about that? I mean,
I'd just be happy to have the initial $1 million investment.
Right. But
that's how it is with any like sports franchise, like all those like back years ago they were purchased for such a small amount.
Oh yeah,
and every year their value increases.
It's like Jerry Jones. It's ungodly the money he's made off the Cowboys.
Yeah, and just nothing but time. They just increase in value.
So stay tuned for more.
Yeah. So today there was a bunch of announcements on Star Wars. So we're going to get a bunch of new Star Wars shit. And Star Wars Celebration 2023, everything announced at Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. This is on IGN, by the way, if anybody's curious. Okay. So Lucasfilm announces 3 live-action Star Wars movies are in development with directors Dave Filoni, James Mangold, and oh shit, what happened there? Was this Shireen Obaid-Chinoy?
Sure, sounds close.
Yeah, I mean, how would you pronounce it?
That's about it.
Yeah,
Charmin Obaid-Chinoy.
Yeah, Chinoy. Whatever. Sorry, we butchered your name.
I'm sure we'll hear it a million times between now and the time this movie comes out.
Yeah,
and we will say it correctly.
We'll figure it out eventually.
And in one of those movies, Daisy Ridley is returning.
I saw that on a video on TikTok or something. That was kind of like
I thought she was done.
I thought supposedly, I guess the movie she's in takes place like 15 years later, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Lucasfilm was kind of distancing themselves from the characters in the newest trilogy. But I think a lot of people do want Daisy Ridley to come back and give it another shot.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny the way
they paid her a bunch of money.
The way they ended it, they left it kind of open ended.
Oh yeah.
And but I thought that she had said publicly like I'm done with Star Wars.
Like her and Oscar Isaac and was it David Boyega?
Yeah.
I think they said they kind of didn't want to come back, really. Or they weren't in a hurry to come back anyway.
Oscar Isaac, is that his name?
Yeah,
he was so good.
Yeah.
I really liked him. Like that. Was it the opening scene in the last movie where they were flying,
doing the hops?
Yeah, that was great. That felt like Star Wars right there. So, and we got to see the Ahsoka trailer for Disney Plus. That looks fucking good, man.
Is that Disney Plus or is that no, that one is. I'm thinking of one of the other movies.
This is Disney Plus. So, Star Wars Ahsoka will officially be released on Disney Plus in August 2023. And Star Wars Celebration released the official trailer for the much-anticipated series. Furthermore, a second season was hinted at. Of course they're going to get a second season. She's a very popular character.
Mm-hmm. You notice the timing on this announcement, too, for all this stuff is right about the time they're really starting to push for that ad-supported tier and raising prices and stuff, too. So they want to get everybody on board. Like, well, shit, I got to get Disney Plus now.
They have to... They've got to put more out to justify people wanting to subscribe to it and actually pay for all that shit too, But I don't know, man. The raise comes next month, doesn't it? With Disney Plus?
It's coming up.
I got the email
within the next month or two.
I just read the email like last week or something. I was like, oh, fuck off. But so Ahsoka, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's playing in that beloved Star Wars Rebels character. I never watched Rebels, so I mean, there's not much I can comment on that. But I'm a Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan. Which, by the way, I watched The Thing from 2011 last night. Mm-hmm. Did you watch it, Mike?
I was watching it. I haven't finished it, though. That night that you had talked about it, and I said I'd scrolled through it like half a dozen times looking for something. I started it that night, but I've got to go back and finish it.
Didn't I just see they're making a new one?
What?
Didn't I just see they're making a new one?
Of The Thing?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I thought I just saw it. I just saw it like yesterday.
Get on your phone, producer.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, buddy.
You're the backup producer, goddammit.
This is the first I'm hearing.
Has expectations, and like there's shit that has to happen in that chair.
Yeah, and I mean you have to fuck something up. You've got to put cock into your word at some point tonight. You know,
it's still young,
like Cocktober, cockeye. You know, there's got to be something that you say cock in. He's looking. But anyways. So, The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7 clip teases the return of a beloved Star Wars character. I don't know who that is. Andor Season 2 is coming up. I haven't even finished Andor. I couldn't get into it.
Andor is the one I hear the most positive about.
Yeah, a lot of people fucking dug it, man. And I hear you have to commit to it. Mm-hmm. So, that may be an issue.
I've heard it's kind of like a slow burn kind of.
Yeah. And the first 2 episodes were really fucking... I mean, I was asleep in one of them. I was like, Jesus.
I think I'm maybe 2 episodes in the Book of Boba Fett. That was fucking hot ass.
Yeah, Boba Fett was not that great.
That was
I think they said that Dave Filoni is going to be doing a movie to kind of tie that up. The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett's going to be tied up in a movie, I guess. That's sort of what Dave Filoni's project is.
Okay, the Acolyte is set between the Old Republic and the prequels, and it's pitched as Frozen meets Kill Bill. All right, I'm down for it. Is that going to be a movie or a show?
I think
that's the show, right?
I'm not sure about that one because there's Acolyte.
Yeah, Acolyte series creator Leslie Headland shared that she had always wanted to delve into the Star Wars universe and tell the story of this entire world. Okay, so that'll be a series. Skeleton Crew gets first reveal at Star Wars Celebration, but no release date. So these are other Disney Plus shows.
Skeleton Crew is a show, yep.
Yeah.
Starring, or at least I think it's sort of like an anthology show or something. Now, I'm not going to say we had anything to do with this, but Sleazy winner Carrie Condon's going to be in that.
Yes. I was going to get to that. The trailer for Skeleton Crew, which stars Jude Law and is focused on a younger cast of characters, honed in very much on the show's Goonies inspirations. This was shown with kids in class going through a residential area, running through a forest, and much more. Lucasfilm also confirmed the directors for the series, and they include John Watts, David Lowery, the Daniels, Jack Schreier, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Lee Isaac Chung. And then, our best actress of the year, Carrie's going to be in it.
Like, so. I'm not saying that put her over the top to be in it or not, but I'm just saying
we fucking got her more gigs.
Could be just a coincidence.
She owes us like a gift basket at the very least. I mean, a gift basket with like a PS5 in it and shit like that.
She can thank us or something.
Yeah.
Did your little Hillshire Farms cheese and sausage basket?
Something, right? I mean, come on.
A little summer sausage and some little cheddar cheese. It's kind of oily because it's not refrigerated.
You don't fucking win a Sleazy without paying us off a little bit. Like, that's how that shit works.
If a Supreme Court justice gets bribes, we should too. I mean, that's...
Exactly.
That's the kind of hospitality we're into.
Yeah, my vote is for sale every year. So, I mean, Daniel Craig, come on. If you want to keep winning these Sleazys, I need some autographed James Bond memorabilia.
Send me one of them Bond watches or something.
Yeah, something. Or a fucking car, that'd be great. Or maybe a all-inclusive trip to Italy for the Sleazy podcast.
Right.
So that'd be cool to go on as a group, wouldn't it?
You just want to find the horse from the
I just want to find that one hooker from the White Lotus. I'll be, full disclosure here, that's the only reason I'm going to Italy.
It's the only reason he's going to Italy.
Yeah. See those big old titties. Okay.
I gotta say, ever since the movies, I haven't been super like into Star Wars, and it's kind of the same with Marvel. Like, I feel like they really got to do something to like win me back and get my attention.
Just to win you back,
yeah.
Because there's a million other Mr. PBSs.
I feel like there is. Like at this point, I think there's something that Marvel and Star Wars both have to do to kind of win some people back.
I'm kind of in the same boat too. Like I haven't seen any of the Marvel movies like lately. Anything since
nothing particularly.
You don't really watch a whole lot of movies though.
Yeah, that's true. But
nothing
also Star Wars.
against it.
I haven't watched Mandalorian the new season yet. I haven't watched any of the like Andor or anything like that. So
Mandalorian this year has been a real slow burn. But I mean, there's good stuff in every episode though. But a lot of people are bitching because it's just. I think a lot of people are spoiled with that one finale with Luke.
Right.
And they want every episode to have something revealing with that or action-packed like that.
Yeah.
And The Mandalorian's never been like that. It's always kind of been a slow burn, but not a boring slow burn. There's always something that keeps you engaged and active with the show. But, yeah, a lot of people are bitching it this year. And I'm just like, it's same Mandalorian, just different storyline. But
well, I feel like for both of them, they're focusing on these big arcs, and they're kind of missing, like the here and now. Like instead of making the movie good or really engaging or whatever, they're like, this is the next step to the next thing,
right?
And it's just kind of
you
want to watch it just to kind of stay in the mix, but at the same time, you're like, it's not something I'm hurrying into.
And that's the thing with The Mandalorian this year is that it's really trying to get to something big. And unfortunately, on the way there, it's just a little, for some people, it's not action-packed enough for them. So, all right. We also got an Indiana Jones trailer for Dial of Destiny. How do you feel about that movie as a big indie fan? That's your thing.
Excited with minimal expectations.
Yeah. It can't get any worse. I
need to watch this trailer because some people said they really like the vibe of this trailer.
Yeah,
better than the other trailer. And every time I watch like the first trailer, everything just kind of looks so fake. And that's like my big problem with a lot of movies anymore. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. How like everything looks like it's in front of green screen anymore.
Yeah.
Instead of we can't just go to real places and do real things. We've got to do all these enhancements or whatever. And that first trailer, obviously, they were trying to showcase some of like the big stuff in it.
Yeah,
and it kind of gave me that similar vibe, and I didn't like that. So hopefully, like I said, I'm excited. I want to see. I definitely don't want Crystal Skull to be the send off for Indy. Like I want, even if this one's not that great, I just want it to be good. And what James Mangold did Logan, and that was good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but I have minimal expectations at the same time.
I like they haven't rebooted it. There's a low bar, so I don't think you got to worry about being let down too bad.
Right. If I can walk out of that and say yes, it was better than Crystal Skull, I'll be happy.
I think,
and I am a confirmed Crystal Skull hater. I don't care what anyway. I see people all the time like, oh, it's not that bad. No, I don't care. I hate it. I don't care.
It sucks. I'm not the indie fan, and it fucking sucks.
I like Indiana Jones.
I'm not like a super fan.
Yeah, like I like it, but I'm not like I don't own any of the Blu-rays or anything like that.
I say this all the time. Like anymore when we talk about remakes, sequels, reboots, whatever. Like it can be its own thing. It doesn't have to ruin however you feel about what came before. But like I watched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I couldn't watch the other Indiana Jones movies for like a year. That movie was so bad it tainted Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, like all that stuff for me.
Really?
Yes.
When you saw Harrison Ford, were you like, that motherfucker?
Yeah.
I can't believe he sold Indy out.
Him and Spielberg. I couldn't believe that they did that.
I remember one time Jason was over here and I had another friend and I was like, have you ever seen the South Park episode where Steven Spielberg and George Lucas rape Indiana Jones on the pinball machine, and then they rape a stormtrooper outside of the bar or whatever? And I swear to God, I don't think I've ever laughed as hard as I've laughed. Jason, I mean, this is all it was for like a good 10 minutes. It was just nonstop.
Now, I watched that episode when it first aired, whatever, how many years ago now, and it was dead on. Like, that's how I felt about Indiana Jones.
George Lucas was eating the bowl of like $100 bills or something like that. He's like eating cereal with money in it.
So, like I said, I want it to be good, but I'm keeping my expectations low. I just give me a good send off for Indy, because obviously, like, Harrison Ford's like 80 now or something.
They did say this is going to be.
He's not coming back.
They said this is the end of Indiana Jones. Yeah. So, does that make you sad, J Boone?
It probably should have been his end a while ago,
like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If they decided to not make Crystal, like I was really excited for Crystal Skull, because I think Last Crusade came out like the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
so
something like that.
I think it was like early 90s.
I think it was like 90, 91 maybe. So I was too young to go see that in the theater when it first came out.
I used to watch the fuck out of those movies on USA every weekend.
Yeah. And Crystal Skull was like the first one. Like, yes, this is my indie movie. I get to go see an indie movie in theaters.
This is the experience I've always wanted.
So
that sucks.
Yes.
Did you throw your snow caps and your Diet Dr. Pepper on the floor?
I would have if I'd had anything. I'm glad I didn't.
Like, this fucking sucks, and like hurled it at the screen.
So I want one more chance for redemption for Indy.
I think you'll be entertained.
I like the idea. I like the plot. Seems to be sort of, we've got glimpses of a young Indy that looked pretty good. So,
well, they said, isn't that like they did something with like the de-aging technology they have?
Supposedly they used the de-aging AI CGI stuff.
Yeah.
In combination with some old footage that that wasn't used in any of the movies, I guess, or was outtakes or whatever. So sort of a combination. So
go ahead.
I want to, I want to believe. I want it to be good, but I'm keeping my
You can't fucking push him off with the soundtrack from the Sleazys like you do Rob. You gotta let him. Let him get his indie vents out, man. You can tell it's a sore subject.
Yeah, I have my finger on the button.
I keep waiting for him to reach over there. Like I said, I've said it before. Like if you tell me to pick between Indy and Han Solo, I'm picking Indy every time. And I want him to go out on a good note.
I think PBS wishes he was really Indiana Jones, and he lived in like the 40s, and he fought the Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
And
looking for relics in the Middle East or whatever.
Did you see him flipping his 50-cent coin piece while he's whipping a Nazi?
Oh, yeah. He was quick on the draw with that.
I couldn't believe, like, who has change on him in this day and age? And the fact that anybody has change on him is, a long shot. But he pulls out a 50-cent piece. And it's a 50-cent piece that he has no plans of spinning. Like, it's just there.
No, it's not even emergency fund. It's to have a 50-cent piece in my pocket.
It's like that kid at the toy show who paid with a $2 bill for that one.
Yeah. We had a kid that paid at something of us that we had at
Wall,
Nurka,
I think it was.
And they gave us a $2 bill to kind of complete their order. I'm like, where the fuck did you get this from?
Must have got that from his grandma.
Yeah, like somebody's birthday just happened.
Yeah,
you got a $2 bill in the mail. But so you're going to be like that creepy old guy that like sees a little kid in the grocery store one day, and you're like, "Hey, have you ever seen one of these?"
Here, Billy.
God, look what's behind your ear. It's a 50-cent piece. That's going to be you.
Yep.
Kid's got his fucking VR glasses on, $500,000 crypto account on his phone, and his fucking pervert's coming up to him, pinching his cheeks, giving him a fucking dirty old nickel. Like, what the fuck is this?
It's going to be like that scene in Back to the Future 2 where he shows the kids the arcade game. Like, you got to use your hands. Get the fuck out of here, old guy.
You're like, so what's this behind your ear? Oh, big money.
Big money.
What movie was that from? That's from
I don't
one of those
remember,
funny
but there
movies.
was somebody where somebody kept doing that.
Yeah. I want to say it was like a Jim Carrey movie, like maybe Liar Liar or something like that.
Could have been something like that.
But
around that time anyway.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good scene. I can remember them saying it, but I can't remember what fucking movie it comes from.
So.
Okay, so we're into the end of the show here. We've got 2 more topics, and I guess I'll talk about Scream 6. I'm the only one that saw it. So you didn't see it?
When did you see it?
I didn't see it. I saw it
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Before the Sleazys.
Shit.
Yeah, before the Sleazys. I was on a roll. I saw a couple movies.
I was in town.
Oh, I saw it before you came into town.
I think that was like the previous week or
Yeah,
days
the
or
week
so.
before you came into town. And then it was 2 weeks before you came into town. So I want to say it was the Thursday it came out, I want to say. So anyways, I fucking loved it. I thought it was a lot better than the previous Scream.
Really?
And I liked the previous Scream.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But this one, man, this one's fucking intense. Like right from the get-go, it's like they're fucking murking people left and right. And like Ghostface just isn't using knives and shit. Like there's a part where he goes into a fucking convenience store and just wails on people with a shotgun. And you're like, what the fuck?
Just remind me, I gotta buy my Mario tickets.
Oh yeah, buy your Mario tickets, sir. What day are you going? Tuesday? Yeah, you better buy them now because Tuesday.
It's already slim pickings. Then.
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, you'll have to get another showing time now.
$5 Tuesdays.
Yeah, but I really liked it.
Now.
$8. No, still not bad.
Is it $8?
Yeah,
that's not bad.
$16 for 2 tickets.
Wow, that's insane. So they bumped it from $5 to $8.
That's what it says.
But he's in like one of the premium screens probably.
Are you
ultra screen?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay.
That's still not bad for $8.
But yeah, Scream 6 was really good, man, and I actually can't wait till they put it on Peacock. I mean, it was a good watch, and a lot of the returning cast came back. Aside from Neve Campbell, obviously she was absent in this one, but Courtney Cox was in it. The same two girls, Jenna Ortega and
the other girl,
and the twins.
The twins were back.
The twins were back. Super cool, but they're in New York this time.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
You got no audio.
I heard a click.
Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I cannot hear you.
Uh-oh.
I heard a click there, like a...
Your browser lost connection to your mic. Make sure you have the right mic.
Your mic is muted on the screen right now.
Down on the bottom.
Hold on. There we go. You there?
Now you're unmuted. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, something happened there. I don't know why it muted us.
Yeah, I heard
you went quiet, and then when I was asking you if you could hear me, I saw your mic come up as muted.
How long have we been muted?
I think it was just a couple seconds.
Jenna Ortega, and then it went quiet.
Okay. Okay. Well, so we saw Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega's in the movie. The twins return. It's in New York, so completely different. You know, all the other Scream movies have been in California?
The various locations.
Yeah, around California, right. Even when she went to college. But it's funny, it kind of plays into like the sequel of the prequel. You know, they do that whole thing that they did with the last movie. But really well done. I was very impressed. And I can't wait until they do another one. I mean, to kind of end this trilogy. Mm-hmm. But everybody was super cool or super good in it. It was intense, like I said, and for it being a sequel to the newer one, mm-hmm. it was even better than the last one that they did, I thought. So, and that's kind of really hard to do nowadays.
I heard there was some good set pieces. I heard one of the weaker elements was kind of the reveal of this one.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really know what's going on until the end, but they did a good job of keeping you guessing. I'll say that. And they did a set where there's like, you've probably seen it in the trailer where they're connecting everybody. There's a collector.
Yeah.
And it's connecting everybody, all the killers and stuff like that. And that was pretty cool seeing all the old stuff and going down memory lane. And it's just super fun movie. What can I say? I mean, it had a couple jump scares, but there's a scene where they're on the subway, and you know when you're going through subways, the lights kind of go
off and
on, and it's around Halloween too, so it's the subway's really crowded, but really fucking good movie. When it comes to streaming, stream it. I mean, it's good. So I mean, obviously you're not going to get to see it in theaters now. I don't think it's no longer in theaters, but
it might be. It was making good money.
Yeah. But yeah, a solid sequel to, the newer trilogy that they're going for. So
are we getting a yearly Scream release now, or is it just a trilogy and done?
That I don't know. Because
the other one came out last year, right? So we had 2022, now 2023. Are we going to do 24, 25? Or are we just going to 24 and done? Or?
It doesn't take them long to make these. So
I feel like they announced this one pretty quick after the last one.
Yeah.
And this one's made, I think, better money than the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did. But, I know for sure they're doing another one. I don't know if they're going to do a fourth one on top of that, but I'm sure if the money's there and there isn't Scream fatigue, I'm sure they'll be willing to do a fourth one after that. But who knows? It just depends on what they have, in store for us, obviously. But definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a horror fan in general or a big Scream fan. You're going to love it. So
I was into Scream 5, whatever you want to refer to it as. I thought it was enough to breathe some life back into the franchise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's definitely got fresh blood.
Rim shot.
Yeah. But it's funny. Like there's still a lot connected to the originals, and
everybody still wants Stu to come back.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, it doesn't happen in this.
I think he's mentioned that. Like you see videos of him at cons, but somebody always asks him if he's coming back yet.
They originally wanted him to come back for the third one, but it was around like the Columbine time, wasn't it, or something like that? One of those school shootings.
I don't remember.
But it was like he was supposed to have like a cult or something. Mm-hmm. But they nixed the whole idea, with a public event that had happened. Mm-hmm. Public tragedy, we'll say that. At least if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But, okay, so moving on, we're going to go to John Wick 4.
John Wick.
I'm going to let PBS set this one off first.
Golly. Well, we got.
Are you staying spoiler free? Because I'm gonna go see it next week.
Yeah. We'll stay spoiler free.
It's not like it's not like there's a lot to ruin about the movie.
Yeah,
like spoiler alert: John Wick kicks a lot of asses. Yeah,
I wonder, can we find
like a kill count or something? Yeah. So what do we got?
Like a producer worth his salt, we would
at the end of John Wick 3, right? He shot off the roof at the end of the second one. So in the third one, at the beginning of the third one, he's excommunicated. He goes to see Halle Berry to the high table to kind of get back in, but as soon as he gets back in, he kind of gets back out. Mm-hmm. And then Winston kind of turns on him a little bit at the end, and he's taken in by Lawrence Fishburne's character, the whatever.
The homeless guy.
Yeah, the king.
The king of New York.
King of New York. So in the beginning of this one, it's pretty much like you see like this little training montage of John Wick getting his strength back because he's really going to go after everybody. This time he's just going to kill everybody. And he's kind of on the outs because everybody's after him still pretty much.
Oh, yeah. He can't walk down the street.
Excommunicado. And it starts out with, I'm not quite a new character, the Marquis, which is Alexander Skarsgård. Is that the right one?
Bill.
There's somebody. There's 3 or 4 Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård. I thought he was great.
He's good.
The Marquis.
He's sort of out, like he's the one who's going to put the nail in John Wick's coffin, if you will. And John Wick is sort of on the run, and he's using some friends to help him kind of stay out of light until he's totally ready.
It's pretty much the same formula for the second movie, or the second and third movie?
Right. It's just kind of John Wick on the run. But this one, he's got the Marquis is specifically after him because he's one of the families at the high table or whatever, and he's ready to go. He wants to be the one to take John Wick out. He's ready to take down. Are they all Continentals? Or are they all what are they called? Are they just
the Continental?
Yeah, something like that.
I think they're all different Continentals. And like John Wick goes to the. I forget where the Continental was in this one they go to, Japan or whatever. So John Wick's hiding out, and the Marquis is after him. And they call in, what's his name, Donnie Yen?
Yeah.
I'm sure if Rob Zillow was here, he'd be on that.
It's Donnie something, I know that.
And the Marquis is calling in some big guns, and he's like, hey, either you come after John Wick or I'm coming after you. And it's just so good. Like, we throw around the word epic, but at 2 hours and 50 minutes, it really is pretty epic.
Oh man, I made it to right before they were getting ready for the grand ending.
Duel.
And like he says something, like one of those cheesy like lines, and I was like, I have to get up and piss before this because this is going to be like.
It's very much like Act 1 is what happens. It goes down at the Continental. Act 2 is sort of John Wick in Paris, or he goes to Berlin. That's where they have the big fight with who's the guy in the fat suit?
Oh, hold on a second.
Scott Adkins.
Yeah, Scott Adkins.
And then the big one is John Wick goes to Paris because he's going to meet up with the Marquis and they're going to settle everything. So every act sort of has its big fight. It's big long fight scenes with a little bit of plot sort of mixed in there to keep the story going.
Donnie Yen.
And yeah, Donnie Yen. And you can kind of feel like the setup. Like you could tell like this is a moment where I can just take a minute and go pee.
Yeah.
And it's like I say, it's for a movie that's pretty much 3 hours. It has a nice flow to it. Whenever you're kind of like getting a little burnt out, something else new comes up.
Yeah.
Some new weapon gets introduced, some new villain shows up, and it kind of re-energizes it. It changes the fight style, changes the way it's kind of shot.
Wasn't it sad seeing Lance Reddick at the beginning of the movie too?
It really was.
It was just like he had just died a couple days before, and it was like in the way like the way that the story unfolds at the beginning, you're like, oh man. But man, it is 3 hours of nonstop headshots, judo throws,
dogs biting people in the nuts,
and the occasional Keanu Reeves signature.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you ask for in a movie?
It really was like a piece of art. Like there's so many. There's a reference to the Warriors. There's references to like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly spaghetti westerns.
Yeah,
well, that's why he's got a fucking hard on over it. Because talking back to all of his old bullshit he
and
watches.
You notice, remember when we went and saw John Wick 3 and we were like, what the fuck is Kyle talking about? This movie was great.
Yeah.
He wasn't big on John Wick 3.
John Wick 3 was, for me, easily the low point of the series. John Wick 1.
I really love the callbacks to the Warriors and some Charlton Heston in there and so forth. And ping, flick my 50-cent piece up in the air. Fuck off, man. Come on.
You know it.
Come on. Damn it. That's why he likes 4 so much.
That definitely helped. Like I said, three had that whole middle part with Halle Berry that was just totally unnecessary. And there's something that happens at the beginning of John Wick 4 where he kills a couple people pretty easily. And I think it was kind of almost, in a way, to me, it felt like it was almost giving itself the middle finger for part 3.
Man,
I'm sure I'm reading that wrong, but to me, that's what it felt like.
The one thing about these John Wick movies, the sets they build and the lights, and I mean, they're so artistic. I mean, it looks like they filmed this shit in the Otherworld Museum or whatever, the Otherworld Art Exhibit. I mean, it is some of these places that the clubs are in or whatever. They're just unbelievably artistic looking, and I mean they're phenomenal. I mean, if there was do they have an award for best set building or something? I mean, because they should get it.
Some sort of production design,
right? I mean, it was just amazing watching. It's amazing watching them fight in that period. But I mean, they're just phenomenally shot movies, and I don't think John Wick itself gets enough credit for some of the cinematography they do. And
the way it looks, sort of almost like exaggerated, otherworldly, but still being mostly realistic.
Yeah. Like it's definitely a world that doesn't exist, but at the same time, it's still realistic, like you were saying. So, that was him muting because he's coughing. Okay, I was like, did we get muted again?
I'm coughing real bad tonight. I keep muting and unmuting.
I was seeing before the movie some like TikTok behind the scenes stuff. And I still remember there was one like where they were showing some of the choreography of him working with a stuntman, and he was using some like wooden nunchucks or whatever. So I was waiting for him to get to that in the movie. When he picked those up, that was really...
Yeah, that was a great part. All right, so John Wick features 77 on-screen deaths at John's hand, a number that rose to 128 in John Wick Chapter 2, as John made some powerful enemies. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, found John on the run with only time for 94 kills along the way. Now, I haven't found Chapter 4's kill count. Let's see if I just type Chapter 4 in. Somebody's made...
I mean, it has to be.
Somebody has to have counted it.
even though, to be fair, well, I was going to say part of the thing is that he's fighting these other assassins, and they've all got like their bulletproof suits too.
Right.
So a lot of them aren't dead, but a lot of them do get those headshots, and they're definitely dead after
And if
that.
they're not dead, they get
140.
Yeah, I have it right here. Yeah, an estimated 140 enemies. Yeah, I thought that was really fucking cool how they like would put their jackets up
over their faces.
Yeah, they shield themselves from getting hit because their clothing is made specially with like Kevlar
like
or whatever
material.
So like there's a like not spoiling anything, but there's a scene where they're just these guys pull up and they just unload Uzis on him, and he just like runs by and puts his jacket up, and it's just pinging off of him. But yeah, there's some amazing fighting scenes in it, and I mean Donnie Yen was fucking awesome. For a blind guy, he kicked some ass in this movie.
Like I said, it took me way longer than it should have.
Better than Daredevil.
What?
I said better than Daredevil.
Oh, he might be.
Stick was good, but Kane.
Yeah,
it took me a little too long to associate his name Kane with the fact he's got a cane because he's blind, and it should have been apparent pretty quickly.
Yeah,
but his character, he almost has a better character than John Wick in this movie.
And
he's certainly up to John Wick.
I mean, spoiler alert, but they're going with a spinoff movie with Donnie Yen's character.
Are they?
Yeah,
I haven't heard that yet.
Which,
not surprised.
Which also brings me, to the end of this. So there is, do you remember the ballerina?
Well, vaguely, because at one of the parts I liked in 3 was in the beginning when John Wick's on the run. He goes back to I think it's actually the Tarkovsky Theater. There's a callback I like, Andrei Tarkovsky, and that's where he meets Angelica Houston, and he's got his thing to get him out of town or whatever. And you see like all the ballerinas beating up backstage. One of them like pulls off her toenail or something.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that there's some sort of other trained assassins or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that's going to be what Ana de Armas is going to be in that.
Yeah. So they're doing a spinoff with Ana de Armas. And that's getting a release in, they said 2024? I think it's June. So, got an article pulled up here.
Maybe we can spin that into something to do with Black Widow. Bring John Wick into the Marvel verse.
Right. Let's see here. How good was Ian McShane in this John Wick too?
He was really cool. Like I said, I almost kind of felt bad because he's starting to look a little older, and we talked about that on the car ride. You can see he's
getting that old guy sunken in face, and the loose skin. But I mean, Ian McShane
got some really pearly whites.
Yeah, Ian McShane is a phenomenal actor, and for the little amount of time that he has in the John Wick movies, he really shines in them.
He's almost like I don't want to say like a more pared down version of his Deadwood character. Like he's always very well spoken, and he's the the head of the Continental and all that, and he really plays it for as much as he can.
He's that guy, pal. He's that guy. Okay, so this doesn't really say much in this article.
I don't think there's a whole bunch out of it yet on exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, all we really know is that it's getting a release date.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
2024 release date has been set for John Wick spinoff film Ballerina.
It's not going to be directed by Stilinski, who's done the John Wick movies. I did see that,
and I'm excited for that because Ana de Armas can do action.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was good in the last James Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, I'll watch anything with Ana de Armas almost. So, but super stoked for that. I'm stoked. If whenever they decide to do the Donnie Yen series, that'll be cool. But man, so what did you give it on Letterboxd?
I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, that's about what I gave it. I think
it's a little different for me to give a movie 4 stars. I might even go back after a while and give it maybe another half star.
Wow.
Yeah, I really want to watch it.
What is going on?
When they come out with a box set of all 4, I'll pick them all up. Mainly because I really want to revisit the first 2 because I've only seen them once, and I really like the first one, and the second one expands on the mythology and all that stuff. And 4 is just,
well, isn't there 1 or 2 more Wicks coming?
I think they're done with the Wicks for now.
Yeah, I think they're done, and they're moving on to the spinoffs.
There's definitely this could be the end. This is the end of this series of Wicks for sure. And they've even said, Stilinski and Keanu said they don't want to do any for at least a couple years if they come back and do any more.
Right.
They said they want to take a break from it, and I'm sure Stilinski, because he's getting rave reviews as a director from these, so I'm sure he wants to go do some other stuff.
Did I not rank this? I wonder. Now I got to check it on my phone.
I'm looking at this here, and it's because I thought there was supposed to be 5.
Well, I think what happened was they were going to do 4 and 5 back to back.
That's what I'm reading. Yeah.
And they didn't.
When August of 2020 was announced, the 4th and 5th would film back to back.
But Stilinski didn't really want to do 2 movies back to back, and they kind of just figured out they could squish it into one big one.
What day did we see John Wick? I got to put this in my diary. I forgot to rank
I thought you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I did too, but it must have not saved.
We saw it. Did we see it opening night? Pretty close to
March
opening?
30th?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
I think it was March 30th was when it came out.
See, I've got mine put in.
Sounds right. It was a Thursday. I remember that.
Yeah. Scott Adkins was great in that too, man. That fat suit.
23rd, March 23rd.
March 23rd. Okay. Okay, it's saved now. It's in there now. 4 stars for sure.
Hey, real quick though, I looked up the thing. I guess what it was I guess it had recently gone on Netflix, and it was kind of gotten a resurgence as far as like it's kind of been revisited as far as what people thought of it from 2011, and I guess it's kind of gotten I don't know if a cult following now, but like a second opinion on it now that better than it was originally.
You know, it's funny. I watched it last night, 2011, The Thing, just so we're all on the same page here. And it's funny, I got a Netflix notification, you know how they send you those push notifications on your phone. New movie you might like. And, you know, of course I'd seen it before, but it's been since 2011 since I think I've seen it. And so I was like, I'll watch it again. You know, it'll be 10 o'clock by the time I start it, so it'll be dark. So it'll be fun to watch it in the dark. And I watched it again last night. And I remember it being better than the first time I watched it. But is it better than The Thing? You know, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Well, I just saw an article too when I was looking to see what I'd actually seen. I guess in 2022, John Carpenter was talking about there has been a remake in the works, but he couldn't comment on it really. But there has been something brewing about it.
I think we've talked about that too. You know, a possible remake of The Thing. But there's just something missing from that 2011 movie where I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like John Carpenter scoring the movie, or
well, they said a lot of it was it comes down to the CGI.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some of that CGI looks a little weird, and I don't know. Like it just didn't have me like tensed up or anything. And there's something about that original one, you know, that, you know, along with a lot of John Carpenter movies, that really has you on the edge of your seat. And
apart from the fact it's a John Carpenter movie,
yeah,
I guess they shot the movie with all practical effects, but the studio didn't like it. So the studio made him go back and put CGI monsters.
I wonder if there's an edit of that somewhere with the practical effects.
There may be. I know there's
I would love to watch that.
I know there's footage of the practical effects, but I don't know if there's like a bootleg edit out there or something.
I've never seen it, but it seems like the premise of it seems like something I would like.
Yeah, it's just, you know, deep down it's a sci-fi movie, but it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching the first one first.
Definitely watch the first one.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's just how it should be watched. I mean, but the 2011 one is a direct prequel to John Carpenter's.
It's the Norwegian camp.
Yeah. And, you know, they obviously discovered the alien ship and all that.
Yeah, that's why I saw like the description. It must have been like a Netflix like saying like, oh, here's a trailer for this movie. And it's like,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in it, though. And, I mean, she's good in it. The redheaded guy from Game of Thrones is in it. The wildling
guy, yeah.
He's in it. I didn't even, you know, remember him being in it. I was like, oh shit. So, But yeah, there's a lot of people you'll recognize in it. But I mean, it's still a good movie, but it's missing something. Mm-hmm. And what I don't know what it is. You know, is it, you know, like PBS said, is it the CGI that takes something away from you that just makes you think that it's not real or it could be real? Or, you know, is it the music that kind of makes you tense up before certain scenes happen? There's just something missing about it. And I don't know. I still gave it 3 stars, you know, when I redid my refresh on it. But is it anywhere near as good as the original thing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, no chance.
Well, if it's a prequel, I guess it doesn't have to be as good. You don't necessarily have to measure it against that because if it's not the direct remake,
it is funny like how it ends. You know, like you're like, oh, okay, you know, but it kind of, if you've seen the original, obviously you're like, oh, okay, but yeah, I mean, it's still an okay movie, and you know, you're not heavily invested in the original thing, so you'll probably watch the thing and then you'll watch this one and think it's a good movie. Okay. So, but I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me anywhere wrong where I'm saying that, but it's just somewhere in between, you know, borderline of being good and it could be great. So it falls somewhere in between there, and there's just something that's keeping it back from being the next tier of enjoyment. But that's it. That's all I got to say about it.
I'll watch it and report back.
Yes. We'd like to hear it. Well, we'll call you in on the next
Your
show.
homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Rob has a tummy ache in 2 weeks, we'll just call you back over and, you know, or you can come over. I don't care. It is what it is. And you can tell us about how you enjoyed it or how you disliked it.
Gotcha.
So
you can report on the thing. Hot Sauce can report back on
this coming from a guy that hasn't seen Predator. And he hasn't seen Stargate.
There's a lot of
shit. Have you seen
I've
Gladiator?
Yes.
Of course he's seen Gladiator.
Did we see it in a theater?
You keep saying that, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I would have remembered seeing that in the theater.
I have a memory of it.
I remember watching it with my mom and stepdad when they first...
I did see Stargate in the theater, by the way.
Did you? I think I did. I saw that in the theater, too. That was a big movie back in the day. Was it Kurt Russell and...
Spader?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal. I remember renting that one Friday night, and I was like, oh, this is going to be such a great fucking night. Stargate. That's a good fucking movie, man. You got to watch it.
I'm sure I would like it.
And Predator is like a must-see. You're a child from the 80s, you got to watch that. Look at you.
I will.
That's like
I have so many hours in a day, though.
That's like top-tier 80s Arnold. I think it's 80s still.
Yeah.
Like Ridley Scott's top tier Gladiator.
Well, Blade Runner's my top tier.
I've seen Alien. That's Ridley Scott, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alien was good. Did you like Alien?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll like the thing, then. If you like Alien.
I just watched it last year, maybe, so.
Okay. I've got the box set over there on DVD somewhere. Well, it's not over there. It's in a box. It's in a bin from the floods. So.
The floods.
Yeah. The great
floods.
the great floods of 2020. It's still boxed up.
But great sleazy flood.
Yeah, we've still never fully recovered from.
We never will.
No, it's never going to happen. But that's all we have for you on this episode of the Sleazy Podcast. My call to action, as always, share the show on your social media accounts. Share it with a friend. Send it a random text to a stranger. Just type some numbers in and say, check this show out.
Your neighbor.
Yeah.
Or your neighbor, neighbor, whatever it is.
Yeah, however they do that. We'll be back in, hopefully, 2 weeks. What do we got here? Let's look at the calendar. Why is my calendar not pulling up? Okay. So that would put us at April 21st. Is everybody okay with that while we're here? There's no tummies that are going to be upset.
I'm good.
Okay. We know you don't
no
care.
Birthdays that come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Rob Zilla isn't here tonight because his fiance that he's never going to marry, that we know of. Maybe they went and got married tonight. Who knows, for her birthday?
They may already be married.
You think so? I don't think they're married. I don't think they really plan on getting married. They're just happy the way it is. I know he's happy the way it is. Rob doesn't like change.
I mean, the real question is Rob going to take her last name?
Yeah. It'll be mandated in the prenup.
Probably. It's funny when you go into their house, she has pictures of Laos up, and one of them's like a field of like crops. And I just laugh every time I look at it. I'm like, Rob's going there one day.
Like, he's going to be on the farm working.
Yeah. The poppy seed farm. Why you not work, fat boy? Bacau. Get to work, boy. You don't need insulin. Oh, man. But yeah, so, and he didn't let us know until Tuesday.
I feel bad. He must have just remembered her birthday then.
Yeah. That piece of shit. He's such a fuck up, isn't he? Did you like my TikToks I made today?
They were pretty good.
They were good, weren't they?
They were funny. I liked them.
I slammed both you and Robzilla with Pedro Pascal.
Yep.
So,
And you sent letters too?
well, I sent letters from OpenAI. Yeah, I need to read that. Which, by the way, we can't end the show right now. we just can't end the show right now. Hold on a second.
Some HR housekeeping here.
We got 15 minutes before we hit our 90-minute mark.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So still half as long
PBS
as
can't go.
Let's bring in the HR director here.
still half as long as John Wick 4.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I got on Chat GPT and I wrote a couple letters addressing some elephants in the room, mainly being PBS's tardiness. And
Elephants in the room or T-Rexes in the room?
T-Rex. One elephant, one T-Rex. And Robzilla's, how do you want to say this?
Too much lead in his ass, not enough get up and go.
Yeah, his overall performance evaluation as producer.
Yeah, that's actually why he's not here. He was suspended for this week.
Yeah.
Rob got put on a PIP and told not to show up this week.
But I wake up this morning and I'm checking the Facebook page. Hold on, I'll share the screen so if somebody wants to read it, they can. How do I make this like the actual?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, but anyways, I wake up and there's this giant letter posted on our Facebook page, and I laughed immediately because I'm like, I didn't make this. So it looks like Hot Sauce went to Chat GPT and told it to write a letter to Mr. PBS.
This is actually Google Bard because I've got access.
Okay.
I got early access to Google Bard.
Okay,
this
cool.
Isn't Chat, this is Google Bard.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
I'm hacking and coughing. I can work my way through it, and hopefully I don't get too coughed up here. It's Mr. PBS. I'm writing to you today to recommend. You know what? Let me pull this up on my screen so that I can scroll it easier. I think that'll work easier.
There you go.
And then that way you just have it there for everybody to follow along.
I wish I could see this better. Like, make it full screen. Oh, he's hacking. Look at that. Sick bastard.
I don't fucking know what it is. Okay, and of course I got to put my glasses on too because on my screen it's smaller. Mr. PBS, I'm writing to you today to recommend that you watch the movie Gladiator. I believe that you would find this film to be both entertaining and educational. Gladiator is a 2000 historical epic film directed by Ridley Scott starring Russell Crowe. The film is set in the Roman Empire and tells the story of Maximus Decimus Meridius, a general who is betrayed by the Emperor Commodus and forced to become a gladiator. Maximus fights his way to freedom and eventually seeks revenge on Commodus. Saved it. The film was a critical and commercial success, winning 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Crowe. It was also a box office hit, grossing over $457 million worldwide. There are many reasons why I believe that you would enjoy Gladiator. First, the film is visually stunning. The sets, costumes, and special effects are all top-notch. The film also features some of the most impressive battle scenes ever put to film. Second, the film is well acted. Crowe gives a tour de force performance as Maximus. He is ably supported by a strong cast that includes Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, and Oliver Reed. Third, the film is well written. The screenplay by David Franzoni, John Logan, and William Nicholson is both exciting and thought-provoking. The film explores themes of revenge, loyalty, and honor. Fourth, this should be a kicker for him as well. The film is historically accurate. The filmmakers did extensive research to ensure that the film was as accurate as possible. The film's depiction of Roman society and culture is both fascinating and informative. Fifth, the film is entertaining. Gladiator is a fast-paced, action-packed film that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The film is also full of humor and heart. In short, Gladiator is a film that has something to offer everyone. It is a visually stunning, well acted, well written, historically accurate, and entertaining film that I highly recommend. Sincerely, Hot Sauce, Sleazy, and Robzilla.
Watch that shit, bro. What are you waiting on?
At this point, he's doing it just to
the
fuck
build up
with
now.
me.
It's the build up.
Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?
I don't know, cleaning around the house.
Well, I gotta work, and then
Watch
we're gonna
watch
DoorDash some
Gladiator.
dinner because I don't want to fucking leave, and then we'll just sit around and watch something by candlelight.
Hey, now he doesn't have any room to talk right now. You know that, right? He's
that?
watched.
I'm sorry.
Hot Sauce has watched a movie older than me.
God damn it! Fuck.
You didn't think that was going to come back and haunt you, did you?
No.
Hot Sauce is the one watching fart cushion movies right now, not me. I almost forgot about it. 'Cause I was going to ask you in our chat, but I thought I'd save it for the show of why you decided to watch that one. I was just curious why you decided to watch the Petrified Forest.
Honest answer, I've got access to a Vudu account, and that's one of the movies that's on there. And I was just scrolling through it, and I'm like, what is this shit? I'm like, oh, Betty Davis. I'm like, yeah. 1936. Let me see what this fucker sees in this shit. Like, I'm pretty, for as much shit as I talk, like, I'm pretty open-minded about a lot of shit. So let me see what this sorry bastard sees in these fucking movies. Black and white, 1936. I put it on, and it's just like, this ain't good. How do you watch this shit repeatedly over and over and over and over?
I should say I have not seen the Petrified Forest. So.
I looked. It's not on your letterbox.
See, look, you come to Columbus and you catch whatever PBS has.
Yeah. He straight up, he got you, man.
Well, I saw it was on the
Worried
Vudu,
about
so I
Rob
didn't.
giving people the beat us, and I got the fucking fart cushion over here.
I saw it was on the Vudu when you shared the screenshot or whatever, and I thought maybe you bought it for some reason. I thought maybe it was referenced somewhere, or I know you like your trivia. I thought maybe it was like a trivia answer somewhere, and you're like checking it out because of that or something.
I was looking for something to watch that day. It was on the Vudu account that I've got. I'm just, I didn't personally buy it. It's not anything I bought. It's not under my Vudu account. Just scrolling through the list, and I'm like, well, the fuck, let me see. Like, I'll give it a shot. I'll
Bogey
see
in
what
it.
it's about. Maybe I'm just being a fucking brute here and just missing out on something that's good shit. It's not good, man. They're not good. Who's the bad guy in that? That's
That was Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, I think that was one of his.
I gotta talk like a bad guy. See, yeah,
I can't believe
I'm gonna. It's yeah.
I think that was one of his earlier performances.
I can't believe he's like rattling names off of people that were in it, and he's like, "Oh, that was one of his early performances."
I just know Bogart was in it because
knows.
I had to look at it when Hot Sauce put it up there.
You are a movie connoisseur, my friend.
All right, so PBS's
saw
homework
it
is Gladiator,
and was like,
and I'll
wait a
watch
minute.
The Thing.
He was like, "What
He's
is
not
this?
going to watch Gladiator.
I will.
Is this
I
something
got to
I need
milk
to
it a little
watch?"
bit.
He got excited when he saw, like, I don't think I've seen that. What year is that?
I may have DVR'd it off of TCM at some point and didn't watch it.
Oh, wow.
You need to. You really do. I watched that. You watch Gladiator.
You lack discipline, my friend.
Well, you know, it's like we were talking about WrestleMania earlier. You want to finish the story, but I'm not ready to finish the story just yet.
Just fucking watch it already, man. We should have like a days that Kyle hasn't seen, or PBS hasn't seen Gladiator countdown, or count. Obviously we'd have to start it from when the movie opened, but
I meant to start a letterbox list, and I was going to have movies I watched instead of watching Gladiator. So I was gonna start it like 3 or 4 weeks ago, whenever we started talking about it, and just be like, here's every movie I've watched since we started talking about it that I haven't seen Gladiator.
oh, that's crazy. Well, all right.
Gladiator was released May 5th of 2000. So now I need to find a calendar that's going to tell me how many days.
Look at him. Sounds like an NSA agent over there. Tracking a
It has
terrorist.
been 8,372 days since Gladiator came out.
8,072 days.
I think you make it 10,000.
It's like our fucking Roman Reigns title reign over here.
Yeah.
He's going for 10,000.
There was this girl I was dating in high school, and I was playing like Trivia Pursuit or something with her sister. And one of the questions was about Gladiator, and I forget what it was, but I got the question right, and she started talking about Gladiator. I'm like, no, I haven't seen it yet. I just knew what the answer was because it was an obvious kind of.
Most people are going to parties and getting drunk trying to bring their girlfriend's sister. He's playing Trivial Pursuit.
Right.
I think she liked Gladiator, so I haven't seen that one.
She wanted you to be her gladiator. All right, so we're done now. That's the end of the show. Call to action, as always. Share the show on your social media accounts. Like I said, type a random number and text them the show. Tell them to listen. Listen to Sleazy. And as always, keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and remember, listen to Sleazy.